That's
No
fine?
objection, yeah.
Okay, 866 in evidence with redactions.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michelle, could you blow up that third text? Starts with "you are the sweetest."
866
Please.
in evidence with redactions.
And in this text to Ms. Borum,
Could you blow up that
after she's telling you that she's watching Black Mass for the third time in a row, you write, "I was high as a motherfucker when I made that film. Ha ha ha."
After she's
You see
telling
that?
you that she's
Did
watching
I read that right?
Yes, you did read that right.
You write, "I was." Now, you can take that down. You've trashed hotel rooms before simply because you've had a bad couple days and an unpleasant time, correct?
I have assaulted a couch or two. Yes, sir.
You'd agree that at times in your life you've expressed yourself through destructive behavior.
Yes.
And you'd agree that at times when you were angry, you smashed things up, right?
More in my confused sort of youth, yes.
And you said in an interview one time, you said the following quote, "You know, you have bad days and, you know, some guys go play golf. Some guys, you know, smash hotel rooms." You've said that before, right?
It was
It's just a yes or no question. You've said that before, right? In an
I've
interview.
said it as a joke,
And
yes.
you believe that if something feels stronger than you, that it's a human reflex to smash something or throw something against a wall or punch a door, correct?
I don't believe that I'm the only human being that's ever punched a door or broken something in an internal bout with myself. No,
You-
I
you
don't
believe that
I'm
that's-
unique in that way, sir.
You believe that that's something that happens when you get frustrated, right? And that it's a mini explosion that comes and goes quickly. You agree with that, right?
When I was younger, it was a little bit more accessible, if you will.
Right. Let's pull up Exhibit 143, please. Can you scroll down? This is an email exchange between you and Stephen Duders, your personal assistant, in April of 2019. You see that?
Yes?
And it's 2 pages, I believe. So let's go to the second page, please. Or the bottom of right there. And you see that on April 19th, 2012, you wrote him, "I got drunk and destroyed my room. There are hookers and animals in here." Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Your Honor, permission to, or I'd like to move for admission of Defendant's Exhibit 143 and permission to publish, please.
As long as the email addresses are redacted, we have no objection, Your Honor.
All right, just redacting the email addresses, but the full content comes in, is that correct?
Yes, Your
Okay, I
Honor.
want to make sure I got this straight. Okay. Redact the identifiers. All right. Is it you agreeable with
Let's
that?
just, can we just, let's make sure that that's the only, is that the only email address? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Wait a minute, could you go down to the second page again for a second?
Go down to the second page, please.
To the signature line.
Can we just see the top again?
Let's go to the top.
The top of the first page.
The top of the first
please.
page, thanks.
Okay,
In
thank
fact,
you.
is it-
No
Approved.
objection? Okay.
Do you mind if I read this, or are you going?
So you write to Mr. Duders, "I got drunk and destroyed my room. There are hookers and animals in here." And then if you scroll up, he writes simply, "Watch out for Mike Tyson. Have you num-nummed?" Correct. And then you write, "Don't want nummies. Thank you. Is it okay to put on a condom after the fact? I mean, if I just wear it for the rest of the day, like, that works, doesn't it? I've had to kill a few of the animals for sustenance. I've made quite a mess. There's blood and animal tracks everywhere." Did I read that right?
You did.
Okay. And you are currently in a lawsuit for assaulting a crew member on the set of one of your movies in July 2018, correct?
Yes, someone
Yeah.
brought a case against me.
Right. A man by the name of Greg Rocky Brooks is suing you for allegedly
Objection,
punching
Your
him
Honor.
twice
Relevance
in the rib.
and
All right,
403 and 404.
Mr. Depp, I'm not going to ask you any questions about the particulars of that lawsuit, but other than this, the two bodyguards who were with you on the set of the movie on the day that's the subject of that lawsuit were Sean Bett and Jerry Judge, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, can we please take the exhibit?
Sure, yeah, we
that's
can take that down.
available down?
Thank you. I'd like to shift gears and talk about Hicksville. You remember taking a trip to a place called the Hicksville Trailer Palace in late May 2013, correct?
I do indeed. How could I forget?
And the people, it's like a little mini trailer resort out near Palm Springs, Joshua Tree area.
That's correct.
All right. And the people that were there with you on that trip were Amber, her sister Whitney, right? A woman by the name of Christy Sexton, right?
Oh, yes, okay.
Rocky Pennington,
Yes.
right? Someone named Kelly Sue Milano or Kelly Sue Eater.
You got me.
You just remember Kelly Sue, right?
I don't remember a Kelly Sue.
Okay. Well, in fact, Kelly Sue, you recall, was sitting close to Amber, and you thought she was being affectionate toward her. You'd agree with that, right?
Sitting close is not the description I would give it myself.
Well, you just testified you didn't remember someone named Kelly Sue, but I'm putting it to you.
Well, I
you remember
remember
someone named Kelly Sue who was sitting close to Amber and being affectionate, and you took exception to that, didn't you?
I wasn't aware that her name was Kelly Sue. Terribly sorry about that. I didn't know her name, but it was someone I'd never seen before who had clearly taken some happy something and was very affectionate with my girlfriend.
And so you removed Kelly Sue's hand from Amber, and you yelled at Kelly Sue and told her that Amber was your girl, right?
That's not correct.
That's not correct?
No, sir. Not in the way that you're saying it. I certainly did remove her hand from Amber, if that's the answer to your question. But I think it's not.
Well, Mr. Depp, it's not a matter of how I said it, it's a matter of how you've said it. So let's take a look at page 239 of the UK transcript, please. This will be day 2.
$229?
239.
239.
Page 18.
Sorry.
It's all right, a lot of papers.
239, yes.
It's going to be 239 and 240.
Okay. Thank you.
And you see on page 239, line 22, you're being asked a question about the incident we've just been discussing. And you're asked a question. And how did you deal with that uncomfortable situation?
Where are you reading from, sir? I'm sorry.
Page 239, line 22.
22, okay.
Yep. You got it?
Yes, I do.
All right. Question, and how did you deal with that uncomfortable situation? Answer, I removed Miss Kelly Sue's hand from Miss Heard's body, and I told her, do not do that. That, first of all, that is my girl. Second of all, it is rude and invasive. She was quite glassy-eyed, and she seemed pretty unsure of her surroundings. She seemed very unstable on her feet, and I remember saying to her, if you were going to take this drug, MDMA, you should know if you were able to handle it or not, correct? Did I read that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And after this incident, you went back into the trailer that you and Miss Heard were sharing, and you had a big argument, right?
Yes, there was an argument.
And the argument started about Kelly Sue, correct?
I don't
Amber was
recall.
unhappy with your reaction to her and what happened, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection, if you could rephrase.
You had an argument with Miss Heard, and you understood her to be upset with the way that you had handled that situation with Kelly Sue, correct?
I mean, I recall that that was a part of the argument, but as I had told Ms. Heard, I was sorry if this, I mean, I was protecting Ms. Heard's honor, and I was protecting my girl from someone who was clearly unable to deal with the substances that she'd taken.
Right.
She was a little forward.
And I know that there will be differing accounts of what happened in that trailer over the course of this trial, but you would agree with me, Mr. Depp, that at a minimum, you smashed up a bathroom sconce during that argument, correct?
Yes, sir. I punched a bathroom sconce. It was right by the mirror.
And apologies if we've already covered this, but this trip was in late May 2013?
I don't recall.
Okay. If you could pull up Exhibit 181. Michelle, this has already been admitted into evidence this morning, Your Honor.
181? No, I don't have 181 in evidence.
Did we not? Oh, you know what? I forgot that this morning. I'm sorry. So 181. Yep, that's right. Yep, we haven't looked at this one yet this morning. Mr. Depp, I'm going to ask you about the third text down. This is a text exchange from you, a text message from you to Paul Bettany on July 11th, 2013, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then above that, there's a text message exchange between you and your sister, Christy, on July 10th, 2013. Correct?
The text above it, yes.
Yeah. Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 181 of just those three texts.
No objection, Your Honor, with the proper redaction.
All right, we could get those redactions done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. Could you please clarify which text messages are going to be offered?
The top three.
Top three.
Thank you. Yes.
go.
All right, any objection then to those redactions? All right.
No objection.
Okay, 181 in evidence with redactions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
I'd like to take a look at the text that you sent to Paul Bettany on July 11th. If you could blow that up, please, Michelle. And we just talked about this trip to Hicksville. If you just, yeah, there we go. If you go to the second paragraph, or the kind of the fourth line down, you write to Mr. Bettany, missing you and yours, and await our dangle on the island. You may have to drink for me. I, of course, pounded and displayed ugly colors to Amber on a recent journey. I am an insane person, and not so fair-headed after too much of the drink. Weed, pills, fine. Booze, my capacity is too large, and I won't stop. Ugly and sad, oh, how I love it. Did I read that right?
You did.
If you go up, please, this is a text message from exchange between you and Christy, in which Christy texts you, she wants to talk to me, she doesn't know what to do, loves you, but doesn't know always what to do. She's worried about it all. And you write to her, it was not pleasant today. I wasn't aware she had another goddamn photo shoot tomorrow. That's really why she fucking left. I don't need actress bullshit and her fucking ambition. That's what you wrote to your sister about Amber on July 10th, 2013. Did I read that right?
You did.
I'd like to turn to, you can take that down, Michelle. I'd like to turn to the Boston plane flight that we've talked about a little bit in the trial.
Yes.
The night before the flight, and sorry if we covered some of this, but just to orient the jury to the sequence of events. The night before the flight, Miss Heard was in New York, and you were picked up in Boston by private jet. So the jet that you chartered picked Miss Heard up along with Savannah McMillan, and then flew to Boston and picked you up along with some other people. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then all of you flew back to Los Angeles.
That's correct.
And the night before that you were due to meet up to take this plane flight, you and Miss Heard had a heated discussion on the phone about scenes that she was doing in a movie with James Franco, right?
I don't recall what the argument was about. There are many to...
Let's go to page 293 of your UK transcript, please.
Yes.
Did I say 293?
Yes.
Okay. And on line 22, you were asked a question, the night before you were due to meet up, did you have a heated discussion on the telephone with Miss Heard about what was happening with James Franco, the scene she was doing with James Franco? Answer, I do not recall, but it is highly likely. Did I read that right?
In fact, I'm not sure where you are.
Okay. Day
Sorry.
2, page 293. It's on page 32 of the document.
Line 22, I think, is the issue.
Page 32, line 22. Thank you, Your Honor.
Line 22.
Line
Okay.
22 on page 32.
Yes.
Too many numbers. Are you there?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so
That's right. Thank you.
question, the night before you were due to meet up, did you have a heated discussion on the telephone with Miss Heard about what was happening with James Franco, the scene she was doing with James Franco? Answer, I do not recall, but it is highly likely. Did I read that right? And you suspected that Amber was having an affair with James Franco, correct? That was the reason for your argument.
Yeah, yes.
And when you got on the plane, you considered that she was also being judgmental toward you because she believed that you were inebriated and under the influence of drugs, correct?
That was a constant.
And I'm talking about this particular plane flight.
Well,
You
still
consider that
constant.
she was being judgmental toward you because she believed you were inebriated and under the influence of drugs when you got on this plane, correct?
Yes,
And at some point on the flight, you ended up sleeping on the bathroom floor, right?
I did.
You testified to that yesterday, correct?
I did, yes, sir.
And when you landed, you were quite ill when you landed in Los Angeles, correct?
I don't recall being quite ill. It's possible. I don't know what you're referring to. But
Let's
maybe
take
you
a
could
look
take me
at
there.
page. Yeah, sure. Let's take a look at page 313 of your UK transcript, please.
3:30.
It's on page 37 of the document.
May we approach, Your Honor?
3:30.
All right, let's
sorry.
approach for a second.
Mr. Depp, do you have page 313 in front of you?
I do, sir.
Okay. Can you just read, you can read to yourself, the page 313, line 14, that starts with the word were. Okay? And then read that question and answer.
Yes, sir.
Does that refresh your recollection that you were quite ill when you landed in Los Angeles?
Yes, but it doesn't refer to me being ill on the plane.
Sure. Okay. We'll get to the plane ride in a few minutes.
Oh, I thought we just did.
Let's turn to Exhibit 236, please. Defendant's Exhibit.
Sorry, I've got a mess going on over here.
It's on the screen.
Oh, and I don't have a mess. So, excuse me.
These are text messages that you sent to Amber on May 25th, 2014, the day after that plane flight, correct?
Okay. Yes, okay, yes.
Your Honor, move for the admission of Exhibit 236 and ask for permission to publish with the identifiers redacted.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, if you could just redact those identifiers. 236 in evidence with the redactions. You can
And,
publish.
thank you.
Okay.
Blow up the top email, please. And in this email to Amber, the day after this plane flight, you write her and you say, once again, I find my place, start over. Once again, I find myself in a place of shame and regret. Of course, I am sorry. I really don't know why or what happened, but I will never do it again. I want to get better for you and for me. I must. My illness somehow crept up and grabbed me. I can't do it again. I can't live like that again. And I know you can't either. I must get better, and I will. For us both, starting today, I love you. Again, I'm so sorry, so sorry. I love you and feel so bad for letting you down. Yours. Did I read that right?
You did.
And let's pull up Exhibit 245 one more time, which has been admitted into evidence this morning, Your Honor.
Correct. With the ID, which is ID identification.
And Mr. Depp, I know that we've seen this before this morning, but your email that I just read to you to Ms. Hurd, or your text, was from May 25th, 2014. 5 days later, you text your good friend Paul Bettany, and you tell him that you had drank all night before you picked up Amber to fly to LA. You tell him that you had had no food for days, powders, which is cocaine, right? Powders is cocaine, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Half a bottle of whiskey, 1,000 Red Bull and vodkas, pills, 2 bottles of Champers on plane, and then you write, what do you get? An angry, aggro engine in a fucking blackout, screaming obscenities and insulting any fuck who got near. I'm done. I am admittedly too fucked in the head to spray my rage at the one I love. For little reason as well. I'm too old to be that guy, but pills are fine. Did I read that right?
You did.
Now, the 2 bottles, you can leave that up. The 2 bottles of champagne on the plane, that was about, when you wrote 2 bottles of champagne on the plane, that was about the plane ride from Boston to LA, correct?
Yes, it comes just after 1,000 cans of Red Bull.
And at least parts of that plane flight, you were in a blackout, right?
There's
There's no reason you'd tell Paul Bettany that you were in a blackout if it wasn't true, correct?
There are again, when I write something, when I write a text, especially if I'm in a particularly impassioned place, it's a canvas, it's a painting.
Right.
You
And
choose
I
your
appreciate
colors.
that. That wasn't my question, sir. My question was very simple.
Okay.
Would you agree that at least on parts of that plane flight, you were in a blackout?
No, I wouldn't agree that I was in a blackout.
Okay,
I would say
let's
that
look
there's
at
a
page
difference between
333
a
of your-
blackout and when you're on opiates.
Let's look at page 333 of your transcript, please.
333.
This is day 2. This is from the UK trial.
Yes, we seem to be there a lot. 333.
Your Honor, may we approach, please?
Okay.
Do you see that page, Mr. Depp?
333, yes, I do.
Okay. And you see on line 8, you were asked a question, but parts of that flight are blacked out. Answer, apparently, but yes, apparently that is what I am saying to Mr. Bettany. Question, yes. Is there any reason why you would say that to Mr. Bettany if it were not true? Answer, probably not. Did I read that right?
You did.
And you would agree that on that flight you were very drunk and that you had taken drugs either before or during the flight, correct?
I know that I knew that I was going to have a very ugly, I was going to end up with a very ugly situation with Amber, so
Mr.
I
Depp,
doubled up
with respect,
the,
trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document,
you would agree that on that flight you were very drunk and you had taken drugs either before or during or both.
Objection compound.
All right, sustained.
You would agree that you were very drunk on that flight, correct?
I do not agree that I was very drunk on that flight.
And you would agree that you had taken drugs either before or during that flight, correct?
I had taken a double dose of the roxycodone, which is different than a blackout.
But you don't agree that you were very drunk?
I don't recall drinking a whole, you don't need to drink a whole lot when you're on those things. You don't have time.
You just testified you weren't drunk on the flight, okay?
I don't recall being drunk, no.
All right, let's look at page 335 of your UK testimony.
Okay, Mr. Roddenberry. Where would you like to start?
Line 11, please. You were asked a question. I want to make sure it is quite clear what you are saying about the Boston plane incident. You were very drunk. You had taken drugs either before or during or both. Do you agree with that? Answer, sure. For the purposes of getting through this, let's say yes. Everything you have said, I agree. Did I read that right?
You did. I was caving in from...
Yeah, my question was simply, did I read that correctly, Mr. Depp?
I understand.
Now, can we pull up Exhibit 243, please? Actually, no. You know what? Let's go to Exhibit 221. Your Honor, this is a recording, and I'd be happy to read. We're going to play three excerpts from it.
Okay, and there's no objections to the entire audio recording coming in, is that correct?
May we approach? I would just like to know what it is first.
Okay.
Your Honor, we would offer the full Exhibit 221 into evidence with the following 3 excerpts to be played. The first is the start of the audio through 1 minute, just the first full minute, and then 2:50 through 3:20, 2 minutes and 50 seconds through 3:20, and then 9:30 through 10 minutes.
All right.
Please.
So 221 in its entirety in evidence, but you play those excerpts. Got it.
Your Honor, we would offer the full Exhibit 221 into evidence with the following 3 excerpts to be played. The first is the start of the audio through 1 minute, just the first full minute, and then 2:50 through 3:20, 2 minutes and 50 seconds through 3:20, and then 9:30 through 10 minutes.
All right.
Please.
So 221 in its entirety in evidence, but you play those excerpts. Got it.
That's your voice making those moaning sounds sound like an animal in pain, right, Mr. Depp?
That's exactly what I said before. Yes, that is sounds like a pained animal, and
Let's
it
go to
is my voice.
250, please. And then let's go play 9:30, please. Mr. Depp, do you know who the male voice is who at around 9:41 says, "No, I'm going to stay with this fucking idiot in case he gets sick"? You know whose voice that
Oh,
was?
I didn't hear those words,
Okay.
but,
All right.
yes, that's Jerry Judge, if you wanted me to answer that.
That was Jerry Judge's voice. Okay. So you finish this flight. You send the text that we've seen to Amber. You send the text to Paul Bettany. And at some point after this, you decide that you want to go to detox. And you went to detox. You testified a little bit about it yesterday in August of 2014 in the Bahamas, correct?
The recording of the pain noises is not from that flight, sir.
Not my question. My question is, you went to detox in August 2014, right?
Don't recall exactly.
And you were there on the island with...
Oh, on the island, yes,
Yeah,
of course.
you were there on the island with Amber and Debbie Lloyd and Dr. Kipper, correct?
That's correct, yes.
You and Amber were on one side of the island, right?
Yes,
And Amber was effectively dedicating herself to your well-being during this detox process, correct?
you could describe it as that, at the beginning, yes, certainly.
She was trying to help you get through it, right?
One would think.
And as far as you know, she's never been in any sort of detox in her life, right? Certainly not when you were together, correct?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And we all heard your testimony yesterday. Detox, it sounds painful. It sounds tough. Fair?
Yes, that's...
And you testified yesterday about her not giving you medications at a certain time, but you, sir, have no personal knowledge of whether or when Amber had been in touch with Dr. Kipper or Debbie Lloyd about when to give you medicine, correct?
I
You
remember,
have no personal knowledge of that.
Yes, I do. I remember Amber calling them on the radio, and when I was complaining that I needed the meds when I was in agony and went to the shower, she called them up because she had said that I was in a manic state or was in some mania, and they came up there.
Okay. And sometime after detox, fair, and you said that they came up there, but my point to you is you have no personal knowledge of what Dr. Kipper or Debbie Lloyd communicated to Amber about whether and when to give you medicines. You weren't part of those communications, correct?
Sure I was. I was there during those discussions.
Right, but
there were times sort of written down, but the golden rule essentially is if the patient is in an uncomfortable or potentially dangerous state, which would lead to seizures, medication should be distributed. That's what I remember, even though if it was supposed to be delivered at 4 p.m. and it was 3:15 or 3:30,
According to you, that's what you recall the golden rule was, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I mean, that's what doctors and patients
And
do.
sometime after detox, you texted Amber and you said, "Thank you so much for getting me fucking clean, baby." Right? Remember that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you, actually, let's pull up. You didn't just express your thanks to Amber. You expressed it to other people as well, what Amber had done for you, correct? Let's pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 120, page 41, please. This is Plaintiff's Exhibit, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Is this a screen thing, or am I searching for something?
This is a screen thing.
Okay, thank you.
Screen thing that we have to rotate. And the only question I have for you is the question on the top of the page,
Yes.
sent on August 19th, 2014, from you to Paige. Now, Paige is Amber's mom, right?
That's correct.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of just this page of this exhibit with just that text and the identifiers redacted.
Which page of this exhibit is it?
I'm sorry?
Which page of the exhibit is
It's
it?
at page 41,
Page 41, so.
or it's listed as exhibit 120_0041.
Okay, 120, let's make it A, page 41. Do it that way.
That sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, page 41. And do we want it redacted? Or
So just to be clear, if it's just the top
Just the top
text
text?
message
Yeah.
and the identifiers are removed, we have no objection.
Okay, so if we
Yep.
redact that way?
Thank you, Your Honor.
And just that page, yes.
And just
Yeah, sure.
page 41. Okay, all right, so 120A in evidence as redacted.
Permission to publish, Your Honor?
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Depp, this is, in this text that you send to Paige Heard, Amber's mom, on August 19th, 2014, you say the following, and I understand that you gave certain testimony yesterday about what you perceived Ms. Heard's role in your detox to be, but on this date, you sent this text to Ms. Heard, to Paige Heard, and you say, "I couldn't have made it without her. I would have gone for a swim and swallowed a big drink of ocean without her, to be honest. It was a hell of my own doing, and your little girl walked through with me step by step. I know you're already proud of her, but if you'd have seen her in action, amazing. It was an exercise of monumental patience and instinct. I wouldn't be alive, sweetheart. There were more than a few times when I thought it would be more simple to take that route. It was Amber and Amber only that got me through this, and it was not easy. Thank you for her first. And thank you and that sweet fucker David for all of your words of support. I'm through the other side now, I think. I hope. All this boy's love, your son Outlaw." Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
You can take that down. Thank you. Now, you flew, you got married to Amber on early February, February 3rd, 2015?
Apparently,
Is that right?
yes.
Okay. You remember the year today? 2015, right?
That sounds about right.
Okay. And a week after your wedding, you left for Australia to start the process of shooting the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, right?
That sounds about right, yes.
And Amber was filming in London at the time. She left directly from the wedding to fly to London to film London Fields with Billy Bob Thornton, right?
That's correct.
And the plan was that she was going to fly out from London to Australia directly to join you for the filming of Pirates 5, right?
At some point, yes.
And she was going to stay in that house with you for the duration of the filming, correct?
I don't know that it was the duration, but sure.
Okay. And you testified on Tuesday, I guess, that when you went there in February of 2015, you'd been off of alcohol for 18 months. You testified to that. Remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
That's just nonsense, right? We've already looked at
Thank you.
May 2014, you were drunk on that plane, and you've admitted to that. So that's not 18 months before. So that testimony that you gave when you said you had been sober for 18 months before you arrived in February of
Objection, Your
2015 was not true, correct?
What's the objection?
May we approach?
Your Honor,
What's
I
the,
mean-
what's the objection?
He's testifying, Your Honor.
It's a compound, could you just do maybe one question? Let's do that.
Mr. Depp, you had not been sober off of alcohol for 18 months before you went to Australia in February 2015, correct?
It's possible that it was not 18 months, maybe it was 17, maybe it was 16, maybe.
It was actually a lot less than that, because at a minimum, you were drunk on that plane flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014.
That's incorrect, sir. I said that I had had a glass of champagne and I had taken a double dose of the narcotics, of the opiates. That's a very different thing from being drunk.
Okay, and a very different thing from what you texted Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay, so the Boston flight was in May 2014. You go to Australia in February of 2015, having testified that you were off of alcohol for 18 months. Now, when you went to Australia in February of 2015, you also lied to the cast insurance company that was insuring you for Pirates 5, didn't you?
After she cut my finger off?
No, well, that's your account of it, sir. Before you went to Australia, let's do it this way. Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please.
500?
500, Defense Exhibit 500.
Defense Exhibit 500.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
Mr. Depp, you see this as it's called a cast insurance medical certificate, correct?
Yes, I see that, yes.
Okay. And it's dated, this is in, I believe it's in not the way we do dates in the U.S., because you can see on the lower left column, examinee's start date of filming 16/2/2015. So that means February 16th, 2015, correct?
Correct.
Your
And
Honor,
the date of the exam.
before we go any further, we'd ask to be able to see this entire document.
I'm just asking about the top of it. I'm happy if we want. There's specific parts I'm going to ask him about, but if they want to scroll through it, that's fine.
It's unclear whether Mr. Depp has ever even seen this, so we just appreciate the courtesy of being able to see the entire document.
That's fine, Your Honor. I mean, I'm going to direct him to certain parts of it, but that's fine if they want to. I'm just trying to move things along here.
I understand.
I'm sorry?
I have a hard copy if you'd like to look at that.
They'd like to see page 3.
If I may approach, Your Honor, that would be. It's
What, I'm confused. What,
they just scrolled to the last page, so we can just view it here. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, sorry. I appreciate that.
go ahead, Mr. Rottenborn. Your question?
Yes, I do. Mr. Depp, this is your signature on the page of the document being displayed here, correct?
That is.
And it's dated February 11th, 2015?
Correct.
Your Honor, with the understanding that if the exhibit for the court will have to redact signatures, I'd move for admission of this document and permission to publish.
Any objection?
Your Honor, may have some medical information, so at this time, we'd like an opportunity to ensure. This is an insurance form with medical information. I just want to make sure we're not publishing anything that shouldn't be.
Your Honor's made clear that anything that comes into evidence in this case will be published to the jury, whether it's
Well, there may be
confidential or not.
irrelevant medical information that Your Honor has already ruled is not admissible.